بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. أما بعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد، الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام والسنة. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. Alhamdulillah, we continue going over the tremendous book authored by the Fadilatul Shaykh Al-Allama Imam bin Baz rahimahullahu ta'ala. The book, which is entitled Durus al-Muhimma li'amat al-Ummah, important lessons for the general masses of the Ummah. We are still in the section dealing with the Arkan al-Iman, dealing with the pillars of Iman. And we are on the second pillar, which is the belief in the Malaika, is the Iman in the Malaika. The Malaika meaning the angels. The angels. Fadilatul Shaykh Sheikh Abdul Razak bin Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Al-Abbad Al-Badr Hifdhahumullah Ta'ala, he mentions that the belief in the Malaika, it consists of a few affairs. And that we believe in the Malaika in general, and we believe in the Malaika specifically. We believe in them specifically, meaning those texts that come stating specific information about the Malaika, then we believe in those texts and the details that come therein. And outside of those texts that bring specific details about the Malaika, then we believe in them in general. We believe in them in general. So thus we believe in the Malaika as relates to their names, as relates to their descriptions, as relates to their number, meaning the number of Malaika that perform a certain task and the like. And we believe in the jobs and tasks of the malaika. Now, just as to recap, because in the last class we took the first two, that we believe in the malaika in their names. Now remember, our belief in the malaika, that it is in general and specific. As relates to specific, we believe in those names of the malaika that have come in the text, and we believe in them by name. So Jibreel, for example, Jibreel, Mikael, Israfil, so on and so forth. We believe in them, and we believe in them specifically by name. Now the other angels of which we don't have information on what their name is, we believe that what they have names, na'am, and we believe in them in general. We believe in them in general, na'am. But likewise, we took their descriptions, because we know the malaika, they have specific descriptions. The Prophet ﷺ, he described the angel Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam, that he had 600 wings, and that each wing covered the horizon, and that there fell from his wings pearls, rubies, and precious gems, so on and so forth. Naam. So we believe in this specific description as relates to the angel Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam. Another example is the description of those angels that hold the throne, that carry the throne. The Prophet ﷺ explained that from their earlobe to their shoulder is the distance of 700 years, in flight. 700 years, a bird would have to fly for 700 years, or fly for 700 years, to go from the earlobe to the shoulder. Now, so these are specific descriptions as relates to the malaika. So those texts that come bearing specific descriptions, then we believe in those specific descriptions. Now, and when there's not a text that describes them specifically, then we believe in general they have descriptions, they have characteristics. Now, we don't know about them, because the only way to know about them is from revelation. But we believe in their general description. For example, Allah Azza wa Jal, He informed us that He had made the malaika, جَعِلَ الْمَلَائِكَ رُسُلًا. He had made the malaika as messengers. أُولِي أَجْنِحَةً, that they possess wings. مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ, that they have wings. Some of them have 2 wings. Others from amongst them have 3 wings. And others from amongst them have 4 wings. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, يَزِيدُ فِي الْخَلْقِ مَا يَشَاءُ, and Allah increases to His creation what He pleases. Because we know that there's some angels that have more than 4 wings. Case in point, Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, he has how many wings? 600 wings. And how big is each wing? It covers what? The horizon. Now, so we know that angels have different number of wings. 2, 3, 4, and more. Now, so we believe in that in general, that angels, they have wings. Now, and that's what we covered in the last class, of course in more depth. But bidnillahi ta'ala, that will serve as a review. So what we left off on was وَالْأَعْدَادُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ, the number of the malaika. Now we believe in this ijmala, in general. In general, we believe بأن عددهم لا يحصيه إلا الذي خلقه that the number of the malaika, then their number, how many of them are they? Only Allah knows. It is not known except by the one who created them. That their number is not known except by the one who created them. So when it comes to the number of the malaika, then this would be from different aspects. One aspect, how many angels are there in total? How many angels are there in total? Now, we know that their number is finite. It doesn't go on forever, right? But how many of that number? Allahu a'lam. Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. Now, so we believe that there are a number of them, but only Allah knows the exact number of how many they are. And Allah Ta'ala, He says, yani the person will say, what's the dalil that their number is only known by Allah Azza wa Jal? Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ. And no one knows the number, and no one knows, about the armies of your Lord except for Him. And the angels are from the soldiers of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, the angels are from the soldiers of Allah Azza wa Jal. And only Allah knows how many of them there are. So there are a great and a vast number of malaika. وَمِمَّا يَدُلُّ عَلَى هَذِهِ الْكَثْرَةِ الْعَظِيمَةِ. And that which points to their tremendous number. So in other words, we believe that in the malaika, in general, that there are a number of them, but we believe that there is an extremely great and big number of angels. There is a lot of angels. Now, and there are texts that point us to this understanding, that we know that that there are a great number of angels. There are some texts that point to this. From those texts, which point to the great number of the malaika, Qissatul Isra, it comes inside of the event of the Isra, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made the Isra wal Mi'raj, he made the night journey, and then he ascended into the heavens. Now, this is a beautiful hadith, bi'nillahi ta'ala, when everyone gets a chance, inshallah ta'ala, find this hadith and read through it. It's a beautiful hadith, about what happened when the Prophet ﷺ, he took the night journey and then he made the ascension into the heavens. It's a tremendous event. Tremendous event. This hadith, it could be found in Al-Bukhaari and Muslim. It could be found in Al-Bukhari and Muslim. It's a long hadith. But in that hadith, it gives us an indication of how many angels there are. That is a very great and big number. And that is حيث قال, as it comes in a hadith, where it said, ثُمَّ رُفِعَ لي, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, ثُمَّ رُفِعَ لي بَيْتُ الْمَعْمُورِ. Then I was risen, I was risen, taken up to, was called Al-Baytul Ma'mur. Al-Baytul Ma'mur. Now, this is a place of worship inside of the heavens. Now, a masjid inside of the heavens. فَقُلْتُ, and I said, Ya Jibreel, ma hada? He said, so I said, O Jibreel, what is this? قال عليه الصلاة والسلام, Jibreel, he said, هذا بيت المعمور. He said, this is بيت المعمور. The name of it, بيت المعمور. يدخل كل يوم. That enters inside of بيت المعمور every single day 70,000 ملك. That enters inside of بيت المعمور every single day 70,000 angels. 70,000 angels. Every day, 70,000 angels enter into Baytul Ma'mur. إِذَا خَرَجُوا مِنْهُ, and when they leave from it, لَمْ يَعُودُوا فِيهِ آخِرُ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ. When they leave from it, that group of 70,000 never go back for a second time. So every day, a different 70,000 angels enter into Baytul Ma'mur. That's a lot. That's a lot. Ma'am? That's a lot. So every day 70,000 angels enter. And they get their turn, and then that's it. The next day is for a different group, the next day a different group, next day a different group, and they only go there once and they don't go back. Now, so the number of angels is a vast number. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a great abundance, a great magnitude amount of angels. Now, so this is one hadith that points to the fact that there are a great number of angels, and only Allah knows exactly how many they are. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in another hadith, نعم, أطلق السماء, he said, the sky, think about this, he said the sky is complaining and moaning. The sky is moaning, making a noise. Naam. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he said, وَهُقَّ لَهَا أَن تَئِطَّ. He said, and it has a right to moan. The sky moans, and it has a right to moan. It moans for good reason. For good reason. And earlier in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, I see what you don't see. He said, I see what you don't see. Naam. Subhanallah, just reflect on this hadith, because this hadith, it shows us that what we see day in and day out is not the whole story. It's not the whole story. There is a lot more to existence than what we see. And it's important to remember, because a lot of times people get distracted by their day-to-day life and what goes on in their world, as they say, in their world, right? But it's only a very small portion of reality and what really is going on. And when we realize that, for lack of a better term, we are a part of a greater narrative, then it helps you to change your perspective. Because see, whatever you may be going through in your life, you have to realize that, one, it's temporary. Because this life is temporary. Whatever happens to you in this life, ups and downs, so on and so forth, this is not the complete life. You will move on from this life to the barzakh, to that stage between this world and the hereafter. Now, meaning the everlasting hereafter, the Jannah or the Nar. Then after that, you will be raised, Yawm al-Qiyamah, and judged, and eventually either be in the hellfire or the Jannah. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to save us from the fire and to enter us into the Jannah. Ameen. The point is that when you look at these things and you examine from this perspective, it changes your outlook on life. Now, the things that you're going through becomes very small. Becomes very small. Right? They have a saying, it says, do not give up the ocean for the bowl. Do not give up the ocean for a bowl. Now you know how big a bowl is, right? Like the bowl you put cereal in, or oatmeal, or farina, or whatever, your choice of breakfast food. A bowl. Don't give up the ocean for a bowl, right? Now, of course, this is just a parable. But the reality of the difference is even greater than what is in the ocean between what is in the bowl. It's even greater than that. But it's a parable. And this means is that what? Don't give up the hereafter for the dunya. The hereafter is what is the ocean. You want to give all that up for a bowl? For what you could fit in a bowl? Right? It's not worth it. So when you look at things from a grand scale, as they say, on a grand scale, then you realize that what we're going through in this life is really not worth it. And when you find over the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when he mentioned that the richest man that had the best life in the dunya, right, from the kuffar, he'll be dipped into the hellfire once and then taken out. And then he will be asked, have you ever known any bliss? He'll say, I never known any bliss. None. Had the best life in the dunya. The most lavish life in the dunya. Most lavish life scale in the dunya. Right? Dip inside the hellfire one time. Did you have a good life? No. I never knew any pleasure. And then it would take the poorest from the believers that had the roughest life, the toughest life, the worst life in dunya terms. Be dipped in Jannah once, pulled out, and then they'll be asked, have you ever known any hardship? And they say, I never knew any hardship. Never. Why? Because the life of this world is temporary. What happens here is not the real deal. This is not the end of the affair. This is the beginning. This is a small part of the overall affair, but it's a very significant part. Why? Because what we do in this part will determine our hereafter. So for the one who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, puts forward righteous good deeds, they sacrifice for Allah azza wa jal, they do what is correct, they are patient with the harms and the ups and the downs of the dunya, right? For them will be everlasting reward in Jannah. But for the one who disbelieves in Allah azza wa jal, they are ungrateful unto Allah azza wa jal, they live their life committing all types of sin and treachery and so on and so forth, and oppression, and the like. Then for this one, although they may have had a little bit of good time here in the dunya, in the end it's not worth it, because now forever they in the hellfire. Now forever they in the hellfire. Now, so this helps to curb and to govern our behavior, and when we are able to refocus our perception. You understand? Because that woman, that kafir woman who is scantily clad, showing off her adornments, she doesn't become that beautiful when you change your perspective. Because as nice as it may look, it's inviting you to nothing but pain, nothing but agony, remorse, and regret. When you look at the exchange, would you rather take this, or would you rather be patient and receive the hurun ayn? Then it becomes easy to realize the reality of that dirty kafir. And then when you add on to it the reality of their physical person, they don't practice the habits of fitrah, and we know what they are, how filthy they are physically, and even more so how filthy they are spiritually, that they commit shirk, they commit kufr, they don't believe in the prophets and the messengers. Ya subhanallah, ya subhanallah. Who want to deal with that? Who want to deal with that? Who want to deal with a person that comes to you and is reeking upon their breath pork? Who want to deal with that? A person that takes intoxicants and all kind of filthy stuff. Who want to deal with that? Subhanallah. You understand? So when you're able to change your perspective, it helps you. It helps you. Now, likewise, when it comes to being patient upon the ta'ah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's easier when your perspective is changed. It's like for a person, they said one time, they said, a kafir. They asked me and they said, you fast for Ramadan? I said, Naam. They said, how long is Ramadan? I said, either 29 or 30 days. And they said, that's a long time to fast. I think they didn't understand. I said, no. I said, we only fast from Fajr to Maghrib. And I'm not going to translate that for y'all, but I translate it for them. And from these time periods, that's when we fast. So they said, but still, that's a long time. So I said, is it really? Is it really? They said, what you mean? I said, let me ask you a question. If the doctor told you got 29 days to live or 30 days to live, that's a long time? They said, oh, well, no, if you put it like that, then no, it's not a long time. You change your perspective. Now you look at the whole of the dunya. Person, he lived 80 years, mashallah. 90 years, mashallah. 100 some odd years, mashallah. But they say you like living like back in the days. Thousands and thousands of years, mashallah. Wait, what is 1,000 years? What is 5,000 years? What is 1,000,000,000 years equal to forever? It's nothing. 1,000,000,000 years, forever. Right? You look at that, you're like, whoa, that 1,000,000,000 is nothing. Forever don't end. Right? So now look at our lifespan. 60 some odd years. That's not a long time. Not a long time. 60 some odd years to be righteous and then you get forever. That's a good deal. Right? That's a good deal. SubhanAllah. I think if someone told you work for 65 days and you'll never have to work another day again in your life. Sign me up. Sign me up. That's it, 65 days. I never got to work another day in my life. Let's do it. Right? But what you're going to get in that exchange is even better. 65 some odd years, then you get forever in Jannah. Wait, 80 some odd years, forever in Jannah. Wait, 90 some odd years, forever in Jannah. Wait, 100 some odd years, forever in Jannah. That's a good deal. Because 100 years is nothing. It's nothing. Right? So the point is, when you change your perspective, it helps you a lot. What helps you change this perspective is the proper belief in the malaika. Now, because it shows you how small you are. Really. It shows you how small you are. And how insignificant in that sense. Not saying that, yeah, because the believer, he has nobility. You know, she has nobility. They're noble. But what I mean is that it helps you not get beside yourself. It helps you not become arrogant. It helps you not become haughty, and so on and so forth. Because you realize, okay, at the end of the day, I mean, come on. You understand? At the end of the day, how much is you really saying? Of knowledge, you've only been given a little bit. So even, come on. Right? Yes, sir. So it helps in that sense. You might want to put it like on the side, maybe. Allah. Right? It helps keep you balanced. Anyway, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the sky, it moans, right? And he said it has right to moan. Has right to moan. He said, "Ma fiha mawdi'un arba' asabi'." It is not inside of the heavens a space of 4 fingers, right? Oh, look at that. I want you to look at it. A space of 4 fingers, just 4 fingers. So every 4-finger distance, right? What happens? Illa wa malakun wadi'un jabhatahu sajidan lillah. The space of every 4 fingers in the heavens, except it's an angel prostrating, putting his head down, prostrating to Allah. Putting his head down, prostrating to Allah. Every 4 fingers. SubhanAllah. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he began that statement by saying, I see what you don't see. But when you reflect on that, that changes your outlook. Period. That changes your outlook on the dunya. You look at everything is different. Everything is different. Now, the proper belief in the malaika, and we're going to come to that bidnillahi ta'ala when we come to their jobs and responsibilities. When you reflect on that, that changes your perspective. Because you realize that you are never alone. Ever. Even when you're by yourself, you're not. Right? First, Allah sees you. Allah knows what you're doing. Allah hears what you're saying and what you're doing and what your soul whispers to itself, so on and so forth. Allah knows. Allah knows. Allah sees. Allah hears. To the end. So you're never alone. Allah Ta'ala, He's watching. Okay? But also, there are always angels around you. Always. Always. They don't leave your side. They don't leave your side. Right? The ulama, they mentioned, even when you enter into the bathroom, the angels are right outside, still monitoring you. Still. So you never unmonitored. Ever. Right? The point is that changes. When the person reflects on that changes stuff. that changes, right? Your perception. Anyway, the Shaykh, he says, فَهَذَا مِمَّا يَدُلُّ عَلَى كَثْرَةِ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. He says, so these are from the things that point to the great number of the angels. He said, وَتَفْصِيلًا, and then now specifically, نُؤْمِنُ بِأَعْدَادٍ المتعلقة بالملائكة على تفصيل كما وردت. He said is that we believe in and specifically we believe in the details as relates to the number of angels that has come inside of the text in detail. كقوله سبحانه وتعالى, كقول الله سبحانه وتعالى, like Allah Ta'ala's statement, وَيَحْمِلُ عَرْشَ رَبِّكَ فَوْقَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ ثَمَانِيَةٌ, and the throne of your Lord will be carried on that day by 8. That 8 will be carrying the throne of your Lord above them. يَوْمَئِذٍ, meaning يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. 8 will be carrying it. Now, so we say that those who carry the throne are 8 because of the text. So we believe in that specific number that was mentioned, that 8. 8. Now, that makes sense? Also, Allah Ta'ala informs us that upon the hellfire, as the guards of the hellfire, Allah Ta'ala says, عَلَيْهَا تِسْعَةَ عَشَرٍ, that upon it are 19. Upon it are 19. وَمَا جَعَلْنَا أَصْحَابَ النَّارِ إِلَّا مَلَائِكَةً, and we have not made the guards of the hellfire except for the angels. So it's 19 angels that are in charge of guarding the hellfire. نعم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, يؤتى بجهنم. استمعوا, check this out. Remember, there's 8 angels that guard it. 19 angels that guard it. 19 angels that guard it. ويؤتى بجهنم يومئذ, and on the day of judgment, the hellfire will be brought. The hellfire is going to be brought on the day of judgment. نعم. لها 70,000 زمام. It will have 70,000. I don't know what you call it, zimam, yani like a chain, or like like something you pull something with a chain, right? Naam. And every chain, مع كل زمام 70,000 ملك, and every chain will have 70,000 angels on it. So it's 70,000 chains, and every chain will have 70,000 angels. Naam. يجرونها, and they'll be dragging it on the day of judgment. Naam. Now the kuffar, they're going to see this, and they're going to know this is for them. You understand? That is a part of their torture. Because could you imagine the anxiety? Yani, I don't even know how to explain it. Worse than a nervous breakdown, because you know this is for you. This is where you're going. May Allah Ta'ala save us from that. Ameen. But in any event, then we know that specific number. 70,000 angels on each chain dragging the hellfire on the day of judgment. Which shows you the massive proportion of the hellfire. And that Allah has promised it will be filled. SubhanAllah. Salafy wa Salaam. And then we have the jobs of the angels. The jobs of the angels. We believe in the jobs of the angels in general. And that they are soldiers for Allah. وَعِبَادٌ مُكَرَّمُونَ, and they are noble servants. They are noble servants. They are noble servants. نعم. وَكُلٌّ مِّنْهُمْ قَائِمٌ بِمَا يَأْمُرُهُ اللَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى بِهِ أَتَمَّ قِيَامًا. and that every angel, they do what Allah has commanded them to do. So we believe that every angel has a job. Every angel has a job. Every angel has a job, and they do that which Allah Ta'ala has commanded them to do, and they fulfill it completely. وَلَيْسَ فِيهِمْ مَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهِ فِي أَمْرِهِ. And there's not amongst the angels a single one that disobeys Allah. No angel disobeys Allah. This is from our belief. It's not possible for an angel to disobey Allah. The Christians believe that Iblis used to be an angel, he disobeyed Allah, then he became shaitan. It's because their belief is corrupt, it's wrong, it's false. The proper belief is that no angel disobeys Allah. Iblis, la'natullah alayh, he is a jinn. He's a jinn, he's not an angel. He's a jinn, he's not an angel. As Allah Ta'ala makes clear for us inside the Qur'an. وَهُوَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ, and he's from the jinn. The Iblis is from the jinn. Naam, Iblis is from the jinn. Right. So from our belief is that what? We don't believe that angels disobey Allah. Also, we don't believe that angels are fat little babies. And we don't believe angels are women. No. Alright? Right. So we believe in there that they all have jobs and responsibilities in general. Naam. And specifically, those ones who we know what is their specific job and responsibility, we believe in it. تفصيلا نؤمن بوظائفهم التي جاء تبيانها في الكتاب والسنة. We believe in their jobs as they have come fully explained inside of the book and the Sunnah. فمن الملائكة من هو موكول بالوحي. From the malaika are those who their responsibility is to bring down the revelation. Naam, from them is those who their responsibility is to bring down revelation. A dalil for this is Allah Ta'ala's statement, وَنَزْلَ بِهِ الرُّوحُ الْأَمِينَ, and the trusted soul, or spirit, comes down, meaning Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam. عَلَى قَلْبِكَ لِتَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُنذِرِينَ. He comes down with the revelation to your heart so that you can be from the warners. Naam. Because from the functionality of Jibreel alayhi salam, from his job is to what? Is to bring down the revelation. Jibreel alayhi salam. وَمِنْهُمْ, and from the angels, men, مَوْكُولٌ بِقَبْضِ الْأَرْوَاحِ. And from the angels, there are those who their responsibility is to take the souls. Is to take the souls at the times of death. Allah Ta'ala, He says, قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ. And say that the angel of death has been given the task of taking your souls. Has been given the task of taking your souls, meaning at the time of death. Naam. So that is his job. Yeah. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هُوَ مَوْكُولٌ بِالْحِفْظِ الْعَبْدِ. And from the angels, there are those who their job is to protect the slave. Naam. From the angels, there are those who their job is to protect the slaves. Allah Ta'ala, He says, لَهُ مُعَقِّبَاتٌ مِنْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِ يَحْفَظُونَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. And that they are before him and behind him angels in session that protect him by Allah's command. That protect him by Allah's command. Na'am. And Allahu A'la wa A'lam. But this reality could be from where the kuffar derived their concept of a guardian angel. Right? A guardian angel. Because there are angels that are responsible for each and every one of us, and their job is to protect us from that which wasn't written for us. You understand? The ulama, they explained, they said, for example, if there was something that was about to happen to you, and it wasn't decreed it was going to happen to you, the angels will divert it from you. Right? And I'm pretty sure, those who live for a little bit, you have had experiences like this, where it seemed like something should have happened, but it didn't. Right? For example, those who have been driving for some time, you may have had situations where you feel like you seem like you're going to get into a crash, to the point where even you just reserve yourself to the fact that I'm about to crash. But then you don't crash, you miss it. Right? Or there may be times, maybe for boys, maybe girls too, I don't know. Right? The boys that are a little rougher, a little more, they act a little more crazy. Right? No sense. Right? But we were little, for a while, Allah musta'an. We would do stupid stuff. We would have rock fights. Right? And throw, hard pieces of like sandstone. It was like sandstone, because if you hit it hard enough, it break up, but it hurt. It's still a rock. Right? We would throw it at each other. So there'd be times where something would come in like, oh, it's going to hit you. Right? It's going to hit you, but it doesn't. And you close your eyes and you open them. Oh, what happened? You ain't get hit. So the ulama, they explain. This is an example. I'm just pulling from, what I can think of for examples, and perhaps you may have some better examples, right? I hope you wasn't as foolish as we was as kids of throwing sandstones at each other. Allah musta'an. Allah musta'an. But anyway, the ulama, they explain, so when something is not written for you, they will divert it from you. But if something was written for you, they will stand back and let it happen. Now, so in any event, these are the functionalities of these particular angels. This is their job. Now, so now just think about that now. Because we're not talking about the angels that are writing for you. You got them with you too. But now you got these ones around you too. You're never by yourself. Never. طيب ومنهم من هو موكول بالكتابة, and from them there are those who their job is to write. Allah Ta'ala says وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظُونَ إِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ, and verily you have upon you those angels who they write and they preserve. Kiraman katibin, they are noble and they preserve. They are those, they are noble and they're writing, I'm sorry. So you have angels that their job is to write down our deeds. Now, to write down our deeds. Everything that we do, everything that we say. Allah Ta'ala says, مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. They do not say anything except that there is an angel watching them, ready to record it. So everything that you say, the ulama, they mentioned, they say even the moans of sickness. Even the moans of sickness. A person, when he's sick and he makes those moans, ow, ah, so on and so forth, even that's written down. Even that is written down. So this is a reminder to watch what you say. Watch what you say, because it's all written down. It's all written down. When this iman, it helps curb what you say, and it brings to you safety and security. When you curb your speech. You understand? When you curb your speech. And there are many effects that this has upon your life. From those effects, and from our da'wah and our minhaj, is that our minhaj is open book. As Shaykh Anjali, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he always says, our minhaj, our da'wah is open book. We don't have no secret councils. Right? We don't have no organized secret councils. We'll be saying something different than what we letting it be known. No, we open book. That's why for the Salafy, the Sunni Salafi, he don't care about no intelligence agencies. You go ahead and record, that's fine. But what we say in private is what we say in public. We don't have a different belief behind closed doors and then come to the people and say to them something different. No, what we say in public is what we say behind closed doors. Now, this is the reality. You understand? So for us, hey, you can record us all day long, that's fine. Because your recording we really don't care about. Because the angels are already recording. They're already writing everything down. So, and we don't care about what you got. You understand? So that brings you security. That brings you confidence. Because by way of it, you're able to govern what you say. You're able to govern what you say and what you do. Now, طيب ومنهم من هو موكول بالقطر. And from them, there are angels who are responsible for the rain. Responsible for the rain. And by Allah's command, of course. All of this is by Allah's command. إلى غير ذلك من وظائف الملائكة. And other than that, from the jobs of the malaika, التي جاء تفصيلها في كتاب الله وسنة نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم فكل ذلك نؤمن به. From that which has come inside of the book, it comes in detail inside of Allah's book and the sunnah of His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we believe in all of it. We believe in all of it. ومن ذلك أيضا, and from that also, ما جاء في الحديث, is that which comes inside the hadith. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, and look, this hadith right here is an encouragement for those who have the ability, of course. Those who don't have the ability, then you do what you can. But فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ, fear Allah to the best of your ability. Right? But for those who have the ability to come to the houses of Allah, then you get a benefit by coming that you don't get by not coming. Right? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, مَجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُمْ إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةُ. He said that there is not from a people that gather in a house from the houses of Allah, and they recite therein His book, and they study it amongst themselves, except that there descends upon them the tranquility. Except that there descends upon them the tranquility. Now, and we should all want that, and we all need that, you know. We need that tranquility to descend upon us. Now, وَغَشِيَتْهُمْ الرَّحْمَةِ, and they are immersed, they are enveloped by mercy. They are enveloped and immersed by mercy. وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ, and the angels encircle them. And the angels encircle them. نعم. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِنْدَهُ, and Allah mentions those people to those malaika who are close. Now, so this is a benefit that you get when you come and you seek knowledge inside of the houses of Allah Azza wa Jal. You get all of this benefit. Now, you get all of this benefit. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له طريقا إلى الجنة وإن الملائكة لتضع أجنحتها رضا للطالب العلم. And that no one takes a path seeking therein knowledge, except that Allah makes easy for them the path to Jannah. And the angels lower their wings to the student of knowledge because they are pleased with what they are doing. Because they are pleased with what they are doing. Allahu Akbar. This is tremendous. Now, the angels lower their wing to the student of knowledge. This is an encouragement for everyone to seek knowledge. Now, encouragement for everyone to seek knowledge. It's also an encouragement, and it changes the perception. And of course, part of al-ilm that is good, he implements what he knows, and so on and so forth. These are the kind that we want to be. These are the kind that, if they are available, we want to marry our women folk too. And these are the kind of women folk they should be wanting to marry them. Naam. And this is the acts, unfortunately, inside of some facets of society, some portion of society is the opposite. The girls, they're going after the big money man, right? And things of this nature. They want the doctor, they want the whatever engineer, whatever, yeah. And they look down on the talib al-ilm. Allahu musta'an. But the talib al-ilm is the one of the angels, they lower their wing to him. So the student of knowledge, the angels, they lower their wing to them because they're happy and pleased with what they're doing. But طالب العلم يمشي إلى حلقة العلم The student of knowledge, he walks out to the sitting of knowledge. وَيَجْلِسْ فِيهَا يَوْمًا أو يَوْمِيًا, and he sits in it every day. وَلَا يَرَى الْمَلَائِكَةَ, and he don't see the angels. وَهِيَ تَضَعْ أَجْنَحَتَهَا لِطَالِبِ الْعِلْمِ, but the angels are there and they're lowering their wings to the student of knowledge. This is a reminder too to us to attend the circles of knowledge, no doubt. Also, I want to remind those people who go to Hajj and Umrah, take advantage of that situation, because you're in a place with the ulama. You're in a place with the ulama. Especially doing Umrah. I know Hajj is a little more busy. It's a lot more busy, right? But doing Umrah, a lot of times people go for packages for 7 days, for 10 days, 14 days, and the like. So you have a lot of time. But the people, they be, a lot of times wasting time. Shaitan trick them. They be wasting time. Not saying don't buy gifts. Not saying don't get those things that you can get there that you can't get back home. No one is saying that. Take time and go do what you got to do and buy what you need to buy and spend time in the souk getting what you need to get. But don't turn your trip into that. You find brothers, they turn their whole trip into that. They going to the tailor, then they going shopping, then they going to buy a book, then they going to buy oils, then they going to buy it, then they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it. Every time you see them, they in transit, going somewhere else. So the dars is right there. You're in Mecca, you have the sitting of Sheikh Wasi Allah. Go benefit from the Sheikh. Sheikh Yahya al-Mudarris. Go benefit from the Sheikh. Sheikh Yahya al-Mudarris, he was the teacher of Sheikh Muqbil. Na'am. Rahmatullah alayhi. Benefit. You have Sheikh Muhammad bin Adam, Sheikh Muhammad bin Ali bin Adam al-Ethiopi. Benefit from the Sheikh. And other than them, Sheikh Muhammad Bazmoul, Sheikh Ahmed Bazmoul, they're there in Mecca. Benefit from them. Mashayikh, alhamdulillah, benefit from them. Benefit. Go to their sittings and sit with them. Naam. Get this reward, inshallah ta'ala. Get benefit from the dars. A person, they say, but I don't understand Arabic. What I'm going to learn, what I'm going to get from it. You're going to get a lot from it. You're going to get a lot from it. Because, see, one of the things, when you learn a language, you have to train your ear. Right? When you first hear a language, you can't differentiate between the words, where words start and where it ends. You can't differentiate. It just sounds. It's a mixture of sounds to you. You can't tell where words start, where it ends, where it starts and where it ends. Right? But by training your ear, and that's only due by constantly listening, you'll be able to identify where a word starts and where it ends. You only get that by listening. You only get that by listening. There are going to be certain phrases that are oft repeated. Those phrases you may be able to catch and imitate. Now you can ask, what does this phrase mean? Now you learn what that phrase means. You've built your vocabulary. Now that's one less phrase you have to learn. Right? You may be learning or picking up on certain words. You may hear that word used. Now, and then it may be used with another word that you don't know what it means. So now you ask, okay, I know this word, but what that word means. And now you're able to build. And like this, you build slowly. It takes time. It's slow. It's not like you don't go there and, khalas, but it takes time. It's slow. But see, the point is that the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has built us, has built human beings, is that this is how we learn language, by being exposed to it. Because reflect on this. Think about this. When you have children, your children come into the world and they don't know nothing. Right? What do you do to teach them language? You talk to them. Your children is not saying, what's that grammar rule? The children not asking you that. They're not saying, what's that grammar rule? Yeah, they teach me nahu, all this type of stuff. No, you want to teach a child, you want to teach a baby Arabic? Talk to it in Arabic. You want to teach a child Spanish? Talk to it in Spanish. You want to teach a child English? Talk to it in English. That's how a child learns. The point is that you realize that when you learn language from this natural way, I don't know what else to call it, they may have a technical term for it, but the natural way of learning a language is due to exposure to it, a lot of exposure to it, you start to learn like a child, because that's how Allah Ta'ala, He made our brains. So what happened is that you're going to start to be able to differentiate between different words. You're going to start to pick up on different phrases and the response that is expected from you from that phrase. Even though you maybe can't say it back, but you understand it. Just like children, you talk to them from when they're babies, you talk, and then when they get to the point where they can start to talk, you will see a child will look at you very attentively because they understand what you're saying. They can't say it back to you. They don't have the vocabulary to have a conversation with you, but they understand what you're saying. They understand what you're saying, and they'll act on it. And then as their vocabulary builds, then they can start talking back to you and holding conversation with you as their vocabulary builds. But it's the same way. So my point is that when you expose yourself to the Arabic language, you help along this process. So you still benefit from this educational standpoint. But more than that, you still benefit from the tranquility. You still benefit from getting enveloped in mercy. And so on. And the angels still bow in their wing to you. Because you try your best. That's it. So you don't lose. So go to the classes. Don't be in the souk the whole time. Ma'am, don't be in the souk the whole time. And Ahl al-Fitan, the people of fitna, the troublemakers, right? SubhanAllah, when they go to Mecca, you don't really find them sitting with a lot of mashayikh. They only got like 2, 3. None of them live in Mecca, right? So they don't really, benefit from the mashayikh in Mecca, because Allah musta'an. In their mind, maybe they think there's no one to sit with. Allah musta'an. I don't know. Who knows, Yanni? I'm done trying to figure out weirdos. But anyway, don't be tricked by that. Don't be tricked by the likes of this. Likewise, when you go to Al-Medina, benefit from the mashayikh. You have Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Al-Abbad teaching inside of the Haram in Medina. You have Sheikh Abdul Razak, and other than them, Sheikh Ali Nasir Fiqhi, and other than them that are teaching inside of Medina, still teaching. Teaching inside of Medina, benefit from them. Learn from them. Sheikh Sulaiman al-Ruhaili, benefit from them. These are the mashayikh, Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Sheikh Saleh al-Suhaimi, these are mashayikh of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Naam, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Muhyiddin, naam, benefit from. These from the mashayikh of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. These are individuals that are still teaching. They're still teaching. Ay, naam, Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi, aywa, naam. These are mashayikh that are still teaching. Benefit from them. Don't avoid their circles. Benefit from them. Naam, benefit from them. So you can get this benefit, inshallah ta'ala. So you can get this benefit, inshallah ta'ala. Naam. So the shaykh, he says, so the student, he goes there day in and day out, and he sits down in the circles, and he don't see the angels, but the angels are there, lowering their wings unto him. But the student, what he believes in it, وَلَكِنَّهُ يُؤْمِنُ بِذَلِكَ, but he believes in it. وَعَلَى يَقِينٍ بِهِ, and he has certainty of it. لأنه يؤمن بالغيب, because he believes in the unseen. وهذا الإيمان له أثره على العبد, and this iman has its effects upon the slave. وله وقعه في النفوس, and it has its station inside it, يعني its effects on the soul. نعم حيث يستشعر العبد في طلبه للعلم هذه الكرامة العظيمة, that the student, while he is seeking knowledge, in his pursuit of knowledge, then he feels, yani he senses this reality. He senses this reality of what is going on, right? From this great what do you say? From like this great honor, for lack of a better term. Well, sharaf talab al-ilm, and from the nobility of seeking knowledge. وأنه من شرفه أن الملائكة تضع أجنحتها له رضا بما يصنع, and that from the nobility and the noble status of seeking knowledge is that the angels, they lower their wings to the student because they are pleased with what he does. Naam, they are pleased with what he does. Naam. And because you know how the people of fitna is, right? You know how the people of fitna is, right? They're going to say, well, how come he didn't mention Sheikh so-and-so? Well, how come he left out Sheikh so-and-so? Right? They know people of fitna, they say like that. But we like to close the door in their face, man. If you have the opportunity to sit with Shaykhuna, Shaykh Rabi', sit with him. Benefit from him. Now, if you have the opportunity to sit with Shaykhuna, Shaykh Ubayd, benefit from him. These are from the scholars, these are from the ulama, Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, from Kibar ulama. Now, the reason that I didn't mention him with the first group of mashayikh, because it was concentrated on mashayikh that are still active in teaching. Shaykh Rabi' and Shaykh Ubayd, they are not active in teaching anymore. Shaykh Rabi', ta'ala, he gives reminders, which is good. If you have the opportunity to visit him, visit him. He gives beautiful reminders. Go and benefit from those reminders. Now, but understand that he is not actively teaching. Those other mashaykh that I mentioned, they are still actively teaching. They give regular lessons still. They're still active in teaching. Right? Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, he teaches inside of the Haram, inside of Medina. Likewise, Sheikh Abdul Razak, they teach inside the Haram, inside of Medina. You can learn with them daily while you're there, if you're there during the days that they teach, because they teach the majority of the week, but then they have a few days off, right? But the point is that you can always sit in the lessons inside of the Haramain. You can sit in the lessons inside of the Haramain. And the bulk of the mashaykh that I mentioned, except for a couple, because Sheikh Muhammad Hadi does not teach inside Haramain, so on and so forth. Now, they teach inside of one of the two Haramain. And this is why they were mentioned. And this is why the others weren't. But if they are teaching, go benefit. Now, why not? You'd be a fool not to. Right? If Shaykh Rabi' is given a reminder, go benefit. This reminder is going to be very beneficial. It's going to be very excellent. You're going to learn a lot. Go. Benefit. Take advantage. Because you may not make it back there. The Shaykh is, you may not make it back there to see the Shaykh again. So go and benefit. But go and benefit. So I don't want anyone to ever understand anything other than that which was intended. We love all of the mashayikh. We're not Ahlul Fitn. We're not the people of trouble and trials and calamities and problems. We're not them people. Those people who drop the mashayikh Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah because of their desires, because they don't fit with their crooked agenda. We're not like that. You understand what I'm saying? We love all the mashaykh of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, and we don't drop them like that. Like the people of fitna. We don't do that. Huh? But then they got the nerve to call us troublemakers. Allah. Anyway, they don't deserve no more airtime. Inshallah ta'ala, the Shaykh, he goes on to get into the next pillar, and that is the belief in the books. The books that have been revealed. But inshallah ta'ala, we will save that into the next class. فنكتفي بهذا القدر وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وجزاكم الله خيرا.